TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Eddie Gilbert. Eddie Gilbert and I were pretty good pals, and always when we worked together, I mean, it was like his ability in the ring was just, it was outstanding, you know, because he knew his craft, and he was, you know, he came into wrestling the way I did. You know, his father had wrestled and had done some promotion, and you know, he had to learn the hard way. You know, he worked hard, you know, to get into the business. And Eddie wasn't, you know, he wasn't the biggest guy in the world either, but man, I mean, his working ability was great, and his sense of humor was just outrageous. And when we'd work with each other, we would have to cover our faces half the time because we were laughing at each other because some of the silly stuff we're doing. I mean, there were just little quirks and quips that we would just shoot at each other during the match. I mean, we weren't even calling spots. We were just doing stuff that we knew how to do. We were just working a match. And I mean, working with him was so much fun for me, and I know it was for him too. And it was just, you know, it was a real joy to get to work with him because he was a smart guy. You know, he booked some territories, and you know, and he helped out. You know, he helped out that way with some of the companies that he worked with. So Eddie just, you know, I don't know how Eddie went, but you know, it just you know, he just a nosedive off the deep end, you know, and he had so much ability, you know, and it was a real loss.
Memories of working with Mick Foley, Cactus Jack.
You know, he's got to be the all-time craziest bump taker besides Terry Funk. You know, I'm sure that, you know, he fashioned himself after Terry a lot, but he was also successful at creating his own character too. And you know, he's an intelligent guy. I just the times that I worked with him, we had really fantastic matches, you know, I think. But he had the ability to adjust to me, and I also had the ability to adjust to him. So we always had, you know, there was never a harsh word or never, you know, any vindictiveness or anything in our matches. So, I mean, in the dressing room after our matches. So, I mean, it was, you know, those were good times. Those were easy times. There are guys that you work with, you know, that you never actually see, and then there's guys that you travel with or you actually go out of your way to go find,
Right.
You know, that your friends are pals with. So, you know, he wasn't one of those guys that we went out of the way, you know, for each other, you know, to find each other and be pals. But I respect him for how successful he is because, hey, he created these characters and he has this imagination. But, you know, since a kid, you know, he wanted to be a wrestler. You know?
TitleMatchNetwork.com.